What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. It is the 24th day of November, and here we are sitting at about $553 with 7 hours and 30 minutes left in the day. Shout out to the Dragon Riders. Shout out to the House of the Dragon. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Here we are. I think we're doing just fine right now. I mean, we literally broke out of this range, and now we're sitting on top. Is that not good enough for you? Well, we literally broke out of this range here, and now we're sitting on top. Is that not good enough for you? Okay, let's take it a step further. Are you ready for this? You're not ready for this. We broke out of oh, that's not the right one. We broke out of this range here, and we're sitting right on top. We are stacking dynamite on top of stacks of dynamite on top of stacks of dynamite, and we are literally ready to lift at any single moment. Whenever I made my video today talking about Dash and Zcash, I was actually throwing people a bone saying, hey, look at Bitcoin Cash. Dash and Zcash, they're shiny objects in the sky. They're up right now. Let's actually go to the list right here. Zcash and Dash, they're up a lot from their lows back in August or earlier, of course. The next one to pump that's going to be like them is Bitcoin Cash. It's going to be in a pump of its own, though, right? And this chart, in my opinion, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, this chart does more closely resemble Zcash, I think, than most charts do, right? They're very similar. It's not quite the same, obviously. But if we look, I mean, you've got the lower lows. I guess here you do have lower lows and lower highs. But it's like you have these two peaks, lower highs, and then here you've broken out of this like descending line here, right? With Bitcoin Cash, we don't have lower lows. We do have higher lows, so it's a little bit different. If anything, it's a little bit more bullish, but very similar pattern, I think. At least I think it looks similar. Not quite the same, obviously different, but there are similarities. And with this, I mean, Zcash saw from a low in February to the high here, you saw a 30x move. And I mean, basically, this whole move was really a 21x move, 21.5x move from start to finish from August, right? Bitcoin Cash and Zcash had a much lower market cap than Bitcoin Cash does now. Maybe we don't see a 21x, but I mean, could you imagine a 21x from here? That'd put you all the way up at about 10K, which fair enough. That's psychological resistance in itself. Wouldn't that be something? I'm not kidding. We've talked about it at length for months, probably over a year now, saying this exact same thing, that if we're wrong at all about this move, it's likely not because it's going to be so pathetic and small that it's underwhelming. It's likely that if we're wrong about it, it's because it was so bullish. Like I don't know, man. We don't really know what we're dealing with here, right? We're in new territory. We haven't broken out to new all-time highs, sure. We're not in new all-time high territory, but we're in new territory now for Bitcoin Cash's life, where you are not inside the confines of this channel, of this consolidation phase. As far as what your potential is, man, I mean, it makes a lot of sense that you would stop here, right? Prior resistance, that you would stop here, prior resistance, that we'd see a move that goes up like this. But it also, there's plenty of sense to be made that we see something that's absolutely stupendous. If I could just talk and not get tied up on my tongue there. Absolutely stupendous. We could see a very absolutely stupendous move to the upside. But I am considering that this price goes probably, whenever we do break out, we probably do see prices somewhere around $3,000 to $4,000, $4,300, something like that. Maybe as high as $5,000 or even a little bit above there. And we could go higher. If I'm wrong, it's only because we're not bullish enough, right? Maybe there's an abundant amount of reasons why we should be more bullish. I don't know. For the long term, we're extremely bullish. Bitcoin Cash, I mean, here at $553, there's no reason why it won't see a 100x, a 1000x, you know, like in time. It's going to get to a multi-$100,000 price, just like Bitcoin will. It'll see $1 million price just like Bitcoin will. It might be trailing behind, but you're going to be hot on Bitcoin's heels over the next couple of cycles, I think. And I think it all starts here. It all starts here, right? Because here, lower highs, cycle after cycle, you're a scam. You're a piece of trash. You're not going anywhere. We're going to zero. Anybody buying this coin is silly. But here, oh my God, this is a massive consolidation phase. Oh wow, now we're at new all-time highs. This is you're so smart for buying this coin, right? The perspective will shift with a little bit of upside. And then you'll get all the people who say they're in it for the tech that are going to invest up here, right? I wouldn't be surprised, man. I really wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw some big names. I'm not going to name drop, but we saw some big names, some like very big Bitcoin names. I wouldn't even say they're Bitcoin maxis, but maybe akin to maxis, starting to come over to the Bitcoin Cash side once we see this move up. And they're going to come at it from the point, you're going to hear people talk about it from a point of fundamentals, right? They're all going to talk about the fundamentals up here and why Bitcoin Cash makes sense as a better investment than the majority of cryptos that are out there, right? Maybe not better than Bitcoin. I think it's a better investment than Bitcoin, but maybe that's not the exact discussion. But you're going to hear all these big accounts. I'm telling you, man, when we're up here, they're going to be talking all about the fundamentals. But really, what we know is that if you were serious about the fundamentals, if you really cared about the fundamentals, you'd be loud about it now. If you're loud about it up here, it's because you're loud about the price growth. You don't care about the fundamentals. You never did. You just care about the price action. That's why Bitcoin maxis don't like Bitcoin Cash. It's because Bitcoin has the better price action. Bitcoin Cash has the better fundamentals, right? It goes to show who's chasing the pumps. Either that or they're just being lied to. Or they're buying the narrative. But $554 right now. I'm talking a lot of smack on the Bitcoin maxis, and I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. They talk so much smack about Bitcoin Cash. I think they know that their days are numbered, right? The days where BCH, BTC is in a downtrend, it's numbered. It's over. We're about to see a significant shift. This U-shaped soft bottom, rounded bottom recovery. This is likely not something that's going to last for a month or even a year. This is multi-years, lifelong historic downtrend that is breaking. A serious shift in momentum versus one of the hardest assets on the planet, Bitcoin. Whether you like it or not, it is. This is going to be a multi-year thing that takes time to progress, and we likely will, just as we came down, we will come up in a parabolic fashion as time goes on. By 2030, the discrepancy between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin, it's going to narrow a lot. We're going to see like a 20% price versus Bitcoin here or more. Imagine 2030 comes along and Bitcoin's at $1 million or more, and Bitcoin Cash is at about 20% of a Bitcoin. Like that's stupendous growth from a price of $553. Looking at the short-term stuff, enough of my preaching. I know, I preach a lot. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, I really am, man. I feel like that's how a lot of people with Bitcoin Cash are, right? We're like the mercenaries. We're the not the mercenaries. I'm sorry. The what are the words? I want to say mercenaries, but missionaries. There we go. Missionaries. Knocking on the door. Hello, sir. Knock, knock, knock. Would you like to talk about the good coin today? I'd like to share with you the revelations of Bitcoin Cash. We are going to go to new all-time highs. It's going to be quite a revelation whenever we break out. The rest of the market's going to get on board. 1 hour time frame. They're already getting on board, right? People with open minds and to the technicals, they can see what's going on here. Tone Vase is rolling over right now, man. He's probably not liking this right now. Bitcoin Cash is going to literally outshine Bitcoin for the rest of the cycle. But anyways, 1 hour time frame. Shout out to Tone Vase. I haven't watched Tone Vase in a while. I wonder what he's up to. I need to check in on him. I like Tone Vase. A lot of Bitcoin Cash people don't like Tone Vase, but I think he's a smart person. I think he thinks he's smarter than he is, and he is a really smart person, and that's a very common thing. But I think that creates a little bit of arrogance, which he's a successful individual. Maybe that's entitled a little bit, but I don't know. I like Tone Vase overall. But let's see here. Looking at this, I like Roger Ver more. I'm definitely pro Roger instead of pro Tone personally. Hands off my Roger, Tone. Don't you touch my Roger. Bouncing off the 40 here, getting overbought, looking good overall. Looking good right now. Stochastics are coming up. The MACD is bouncing off the zero. You guys, we're getting set up for a bounce right now. We're getting set up for a bounce right now. It's the 1 hour time frame. It's the 24th. We're likely going to be back above $600 before you know it. Once we're back above 600, it's all over for the bears. There's no way we go lower. We're in breakout territory at that point. 4 hour time frame here. Looking at the RSI, you just can't get oversold. I love it. I love it, man. We couldn't get overbought, but hey, on the bright side, we're not getting anywhere near we're getting near the oversold zone, but not actually getting into it. We're actually getting overbought. So, and living predominantly above the 50. This is good, right? Soft kind of consolidations above the 50, sharp recoveries below the 50. I love to see it. Stochastics bouncing right off the 50. MACD with your partial cross here. Typically, whenever we cross, right, whenever we get our cross on the MACD, We get the oscillators to cross above the zero like they did here. The oscillators, the orange and the blue line, when they cross above the zero line here. Somebody was asking what I meant when I said the MACD crosses above the zero. When these lines, the blue line and the orange line, whenever they move up and they cross above this point here, where the histogram is, the zero. Typically on the 4-hour time frame, for whatever reason, this is something that we noticed, about a day and a half to 3 days of consolidation is typically what's called for. So from here, we've been consolidating now for 17 candles. 18 candles is a full 3 days. We're moving up any minute now, guys. Today, tomorrow, something like that. We're moving up, and this does, to me, look like a bull flag. It really does look like a bull flag. If this is, oh, that's not what I meant to do. I'm sorry. What's going on? Why isn't it letting me do this? Here we go. Low to high. If this is a bull flag, the expectation then, would this be part of the flag? I'm going to measure it from here because I'd rather be conservative than overestimating, right? The measure move from here would take us up to 665. And imagine it's a measure move. You can stop just below. You can stop just above. Maybe we stop right at it. Time will tell. But if that's the measure move, I mean, we're going to higher prices than we've seen since 2024, guys. Like early 2024. We're breaking out. At that point, what's crazy here, the grand kind of conclusion that we're arriving on right now, is that the break of this, it's actually kind of what we started off talking about, right? Is that the break of this will lead to the breakout of this overall move. Because here, you broke out of this, and you're resting on top of this. Whenever this breaks out, you're breaking away. You broke out of this, and now you're resting on top of this. You broke out of this massive consolidation phase, and now you're resting on top, and we're ready to go. I really do think that here, oh man, the end of this month of November might be the kickoff for the move that we've been long anticipating. It's here, you guys. Oh, it's here. Oh my God, I'm kind of curious real quick. Hold on, let me look at this. I'm looking on a different tab here. You guys can't see it. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know what it is. Bitcoin Cash is just on the map. Bitcoin Cash is on the map right now. And again, just a little bit about me. My videos over the past 3 days now for Bitcoin Cash specifically have gotten an increase in views. Where videos for like Zcash or Dash or various other cryptos that we talk about every now and then, even Bitcoin, even Ethereum, views have gone down. But the reason why the views have gone up for my Bitcoin Cash videos isn't that all of a sudden the content has gotten better. Maybe, thank you if it has. And if that's what you're saying, I'm not putting those words in your mouth, maybe. But most likely what's happening is that there are people on X, there are people in your favorite Discords, in your Telegram groups, whatever, who are talking about the next big thing. So they're researching, they're trying to find, they're like, where's it going to go? What's the price going to go to? This thing's going to pump? Why, right? And I think that's why we're seeing more views, is because Bitcoin Cash is being put under the microscope right now, and people are coming up finding that this thing is the real deal. It is the real deal. Daily time frame here. I mean, this chart says it all, man. This chart says it all. You're up 30% versus Bitcoin this month. Bitcoin having one of the worst months you've had in a very long time, and Bitcoin Cash is having a very good month versus Bitcoin. The average altcoin, if we look at the others, BTC, I wonder, do we have that? Does that exist? Yes. Yes, to Bitcoin. Others to Bitcoin. Everything else is up this month too. Bitcoin's dropped more than the average altcoin. That's actually a truth. But they're up 7%, where Bitcoin Cash is up 30%. It's clear the discrepancy here, or the difference that Bitcoin Cash is portraying. The daily time frame. What was it that I was going to do? I was going to look up something. I got distracted. I can't remember, but that's okay. Daily time frame, looking at the RSI, things look productive. I mean, really, what's crazy is first and foremost, you have a very bullish RSI overall. Even when you were bearish, you weren't that bearish at all. You were very volatile, very reluctantly bearish. I mean, this is what Bitcoin Cash has done since September, since October. It's really just moved down, but kind of sideways, right? Whereas like Bitcoin, since that same time frame, has just moved down so much. The stochastics are bullish. The MACD is about to cross above the zero on the daily time frame, which typically when you cross above the zero on the daily, you don't consolidate. You rip, right? Like here, that's whenever we crossed above the zero last time. we didn't rip, I guess, from here, but we went from 330 to like 2 weeks later, we saw a high of 470. And with that same kind of growth here, we'd be above these points. And when we get above these points, you guys, it's on. I'm telling you, December is going to be one hell of a month for the Bitcoin Cash community. For anybody investing, it doesn't even have to be for the Bitcoin Cash community. It can be for the tourists too. Get in now, get out then, whatever. Who cares? You know, see you later. I think this is a great opportunity. If you want to get a short-term play, it's a great opportunity. But if you want the long-term play, I'm talking about, you guys, I'm talking about the long-term play. This is a great opportunity. And maybe, obviously, we don't see a $200 million price. Maybe, I don't know, if the dollar hyperinflates. But I would expect that in time, Bitcoin Cash will see $100,000. In time, it will see multi-$100,000. In time, it will see $1 million price. It's just as capable, if not more capable, than Bitcoin is of seeing the same results. It's got all the same fundamentals, but it's better for peer-to-peer electronic cash. It's better adherent to the white paper that is for Bitcoin, right? We look at the Bitcoin white paper. I mean, it even says it right there. A peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Bitcoin.org. .org. Bitcoin peer-to-peer electronic cash system. But that's what, whenever you hear of Bitcoin, when you hear the big dogs like Michael Saylor or Jack Mallers or anybody, people who are believers in Bitcoin, people who even talk smack about Bitcoin, they all say the same thing. It's a store of value coin. It's not a peer-to-peer electronic cash. Is cash a store of value? No, it's not. Bitcoin is a store of value. Therefore, it's not this. It's not this at all. The closest thing we have to this is the direct hard fork of Bitcoin, which is Bitcoin Cash. It is the best form of electronic peer-to-peer cash currency that we have. And the world's about to realize that. And I think I really think that it's just a matter of time, guys. Like within a week, I would not be surprised if within a week we're pushing $1,000. If not sometime in December, certainly, and pushing higher. I do think this move overall is going to take us somewhere around, 23 at a minimum, 43 at a maximum. Maybe we do push to 50 or 5,000, 5,500, 6,000. Maybe we do push up there. That's kind of the cherry on top if we do. And if I'm wrong, the only way that I'd be wrong is to the upside. Maybe this move is more voluptuous than we're giving it credit for. Wouldn't it be incredible if Bitcoin Cash from here pulled the same move that Zcash did, and in the next 3 months, by February, we're all the way up here at like $10,000. Wouldn't that just be incredible? It can happen. The phase that we're in right now is a massive breakout from a long time, lifelong historical trend. Don't tell me that this move will not be the biggest move we've ever seen in our lives. If it's not the biggest move ever, it's going to be second to this move only. That's it. And second to that move there, from a low to a high in the course of 1, 2, 3 months, probably less than 3 months, you saw 14x. What we're about to deal with will likely rival this, if not eclipse this, or come very, very close to it, right? And it just makes sense because of where we are. But I'm done talking about it. I think I've said everything I need to say. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. If we're considering what our next target areas are, I mean, technically, looking at this chart, it would be $875 to $1,200. But the fact that you've consolidated so much below the golden ratio, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we just ripped right up to our Fibonacci extensions, which are anywhere from $3,600 to $10,000. There's a lot of sense to be made out of that range. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.